Ryan, what are we talking about?
Same topic as the old year. Aquaman 2 at the box office. But interestingly enough, we talked a few days ago about all these people that were freaking out, these shills, these little weirdos, these freaks, who after Aquaman 2, flopped in its opening weekend at the box office, they got very upset that they didn't think that the same energy was there for Aquaman 2 failing as we had for the Marvels. Guys like this, we saw Brandon Davis put out tweets. Why is it that male-led movies aren't attacked this way? Marvel's performed better its opening weekend and is performing better critically. The math ain't mathin'. Well, funny enough, after all this shit, after all these people tweeting out about this, here we are. And after only 2 weekends, Aquaman 2 has passed the Marvels at the box office. After 2 fucking weeks. Now, certainly, Aquaman 2 is still going to be a financial failure. It is going to be a flop. It's so funny to see these very same people get blown out of the water that after only 2 weeks of release, Aquaman 2 is already outpacing the Marvels. It's in at $250 million worldwide. Granted, about $50 million of that is from China. That's certainly helping them out a lot. But Aquaman 2, it's still a sad weekend for them because it did drop 30%. I think the first Aquaman dropped like 15% in its second weekend. The Christmas holiday, obviously, it's not a normal weekend that you would expect. Because look at everything else. Everything else went up. Wonka goes up 33%. Migration, which came out the same week Aquaman did, up 38%. Anyone But You, up 50%. The Iron Claw, up 4%. Aquaman 2, the biggest loser at the box office over the weekend. But by far the funniest thing to me is that after all that bitching and moaning and complaining about it not being treated the same as the Marvels, it's already outgrossed the Marvels.
Yeah, this is fantastic. And look, people that are Marvel's defenders, they're already starting out from a negative place of you shouldn't take them seriously at all, because they're already approaching this from a place that is not genuine at all. Aquaman 2 is one of the biggest flops of the year. It has been criticized. People have rejected it across the board. And the fact that people are pointing to this movie to try to say that this failure is just the same, but the energy is not the same. It's a whole different ball game. Aquaman, I don't know. Like, do we know the budget, the exact budget on Aquaman? What was it, Ryan?
Somewhere. So right now they're claiming it's around $210 million.
Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, it's
$600 million to break even.
Yeah, it's still going to lose hundreds of millions of dollars, but this movie was, if you looked at it, how these movies were, the history of these two franchises, the fact that the Marvels coming off of the MCU, which has been relatively successful, even with the failures, those failures have been deemed success by any other standard. The DCEU has been failing all year long. And I don't mean like underperforming like Doctor Strange. I mean, these movies have been a colossal failure. The MCU has not been in that position. The Marvels is just a big disaster. And these people that are talking about it, they've never operated in good faith. They're never going to. They typically have pronouns in their bio. I love when these freaks lose their minds, and that's all they have to celebrate. They went from celebrating $1 billion film, calling all the chuds out. All the chuds were wrong, and they're just angry because Queen Brie Larson has $1 billion movie. Now, all they have to cling on to is another failed movie that they're trying to compare their failed movie to. It's fucking hilarious.